I was so arrogant and just hard headed. Like, I got power, money, and everything was power. I had forgot that family. That was my number one thing. I always told them, I said, family is number one.
Welcome to Unseen Atlanta, an Atlanta Mission podcast. We believe storytelling has the power to shift perspectives and spark change. Each episode, we will bring you a powerful story from a member of the Atlanta Mission community. I'm your host, Rachel, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jonathan.
This season, we're focused on what it really means to invest in Atlanta. Today, our guest is Denh, a client at the Potter's House. And Rachel, Denh talked a lot about having to overcome his pride.
Yeah. He grew up in an Asian community in California, and he talks a lot about how no one talked about things and you didn't deal with things. And so it was really hard for him to make that first step of coming to recovery. But this is such a powerful story of recovery, and we hope you enjoyed Denh as much as we did. Hi, we're so happy that you're back with us. We are here today with Denh. Hi, Denh.
Hey, how you guys?
And he is a resident up at the Potter's House, and we're just so excited to hear your story today.
I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit, Denh. We were talking before we started recording. Tell us where you're from.
I was born in Thailand, Denh side Thailand. My ethnicity is Laos. I came to the United States in 1989. I was born in a camp.
Okay.
It's almost like a concentration camp.
Okay.
Where it's run by the military.
So you were displaced from your family?
No.
Your family was with you?
Yes, with me in the camp.
Okay.
And we had a chance to come to the United States, and we were sponsored by a church in California.
Okay.
So 1989, we came to the United States.
Okay, so you were in California. You said you were about 5 years old.
Yeah.
How did you end up here in Atlanta?
It's a long story about that.
It's okay. That's why you're here.
Long story about that, but I'm going to make it briefly.
Your parents were immigrants.
Yes, and, we don't have that much money. And,
right,
and
nothing.
So we don't know how to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn all that, and, of course, we're not wealthy or anything, so I remember jumping in the trash can, just collecting cans and bottles just to get some money. And in California, there's always drugs and everything around. So I got into the streets and, start hustling money. And, well, anyways, I got into some problem and joined a gang and lived that fast life, just recklessly.
Were you in Southern California?
Central, Fresno.
Oh, Fresno.
Yeah,
okay.
Fresno. Yeah.
So what were your parents? Your parents were just trying to make
a
life.
Yes.
They were learning English.
Yes, and we got our. My parents studied English, and I, of course, me being young, I started first grade, and we got our citizenship in 1998. But then again, that lifestyle over there is just so reckless that we're just getting by, and we're having to do whatever for money, and of course we were under welfare and food stamps and stuff like that. And I got into some trouble and with gangs and stuff like that.
So how'd you get involved with gangs?
I was in a gang infested community.
Okay.
And so I was just raised up in the gang community.
Yeah.
It was just a part of your life.
Yeah, it's part of my life. I put my parents to a lot of problems, being chased by gang members, and then everybody has their own territories and stuff like that. So, but one thing that I did that was good was I stayed in school.
Why'd you stay in school?
I don't know why, but I liked it school. For some reason,
you just liked it.
Yeah, I just liked it, and I was pretty smart. Had straight A's all the way to 6th grade, and once I got to 7th grade, I just kind of fell off because getting into the activity of the gangs and robberies and selling drugs and everything. And then I got into some trouble, got arrested and stuff like that. And I guess my parents one day just picked up and said, "Hey, we're going to move."
Did they feel like they needed to move you out of that environment?
Yes, because I was bringing problems to the house and everything like that. And I have two other brothers and 2 other sisters.
Oh, there's a lot of you.
Yes.
Okay. They didn't want you to be around influencing that.
Yeah, correct. And I was already bad influence. I mean, I was driving when I was 12, in California, and I was taking my little brothers and them to elementary school, and then take myself to middle school.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just that fast life that I was living, I made my own money and everything. I didn't rely on my parents or anything like that. But then again, of course, I was bringing trouble, around. So my parents wanted a better life for us, and they decided, hey, let's move to Georgia.
Why Georgia?
Out of all places, I said the same thing too. Out of all places, I said the same thing too. We have a cousin that stays in up north here from Cornelia, Habersham County.
Okay.
And so, but he had told me, he said he stayed in Atlanta. So I looked it up and everything before that. And I was like, okay, Atlanta, okay. Seems nice. As soon as I got to Atlanta, we keep on driving up north. And I was like, wait a minute, are we lost? Because I started seeing
the buildings are going away.
I started seeing so many trees. I'd never seen so many trees in my whole life till I came to Georgia.
Well, it's so green here, and there's so many trees.
Man, so many trees and snow. I never seen snow till I came here. So it's just so different environment, And so we kept on going up north, and next night I ended up in this small town, Cornelia, Georgia, and it's probably a population of 20,000 or something like that,
So small, much different than what you were.
Much different. I didn't know what was a country or southern top. I didn't know what it was. So I had to learn how to adapt to what they were trying to tell me, and I couldn't understand it because the way we talk.
It probably felt like going to a whole different world.
Yeah. It is. Like I said, the first thing that I saw that really got me the most was these bugs that light up.
Oh, the lightning bugs.
Yeah, the lightning bug. I'd never seen that in my life, and it was just crazy seeing them.
Because when you were in California, were you involved in a community that was like there was other people from Laos? There was
yes, big.
So that must have been really different than coming to rural
correct.
Georgia.
The school I went to, it was like mainly 80% of the school is Asian, different cultures. Everybody has their own spots over their territory. Of course, you have the whites over there, the blacks on this side, the Hispanics on the other side there. We don't normally cross paths. Even in school, we don't cross paths.
So then what was it like when you got to Georgia?
Georgia? Well, since we're in a small town, there's really nothing to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I wanted to change my life.
Okay.
I came here.
You were ready to.
Yeah. I mean, I had no choice.
How old were you at this point?
I believe I was about 16.
Okay.
15 or 16. Yeah. And then, when we got to Georgia, I got into the high school here, and I had promised my parents one thing that I was going to do for them, was that I was going to pass high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up passing high school with a 3.8 average. I skipped 11th grade. I never went to junior year. Went from 9th, 10th, skipped 11th, went to 12th, graduated with half the credits required to graduate. So I was pretty smart. And but other than that, it's just being in that environment back in California was just, the mentality of hustling and grinding, and of course drugs was there too.
So did you just kind of bring it to Georgia?
What I brought over here to Georgia, what I learned was how to hustle. So, my dad was, he's a marijuana grower. When we were in California, yes, we grew marijuana. So, and I brought that mentality of how to grew marijuana. And so I had connections and stuff like that. So when staying in Cornelia, I was still making contact. Like, hey, man, I need to make some money, That's just me, of trying to make some money. And so I got connected from people from Atlanta, cousins, and people from Tennessee, and I just started hustling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of got back into that lifestyle and just a different environment.
Yes, just a different environment. I just I wasn't reckless like how I was in California of just putting myself out there. This one I was making calls and, making demands and
yeah.
And once I graduated high school, I was pretty much on my own then. I supported, then I started meeting my ex-wife, and when I was 20 years old, and then I supported. Then I started having kids. Of course, I got 4 kids, and then I supported. She didn't have to work for 10 years after that because of what I did was I sold drugs. And I also did drugs.
Did she know you were doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
When I got to Georgia, I was using meth.
Okay.
Okay. I used meth probably when I was, I would say it's about since 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
Since 12 years old. But I wasn't heavy using it. I used it every day. So since 2000 till 2024, that's how long I've been using meth.
Wow.
Every day. Even when I'm going to work, I use it. Going to meetings, going anywhere, I use it.
And in your mind, you didn't see a problem
In
with
my
that
mind,
lifestyle?
I did not see any problem. I was fortunate to maintain it as long as I did. My biggest problem was I have a gambling problem.
Okay.
You know, that was one of my biggest addiction was gambling. Because being in the Asian culture, there's everybody gambles. It got to where I was actually pretty good at gambling that anything I touches, I couldn't lose, you know? So money comes along with drugs. So I use meth to, you know, just so I can go gamble and stuff. It made me see things differently, you know, to where I can maintain it for a long period of time.
And then you had kids.
I was on meth and everything too. Yes.
Mhm.
And my ex-wife, you know, she didn't have to work for over 10 years because of what I did. You know, I go to casinos. I bring my family to the casinos, and we sleep for months. You know, just on vacation. Stayed in casinos, and I bring my kids there too. And you know,
So tell me, what changed? What brought you to the point where you're like, hey, I have a problem and I need to get help? What happened?
you know, this is not funny, but in a way is it's just crazy how, you know, I was born and raised as a Buddhist.
Okay.
Okay. It took me till last year, 2024. I had gotten reckless because 2020 I split up my ex-wife,
Okay.
and so I lost my kids. She took the kids and moved up to Tennessee.
Okay.
So 2020, I was just lost, and you know, then I got heavy doing the drugs. Then in 2020, and I was on my own. I had a house and everything like that, and land and everything. But when they left, I couldn't find myself. I thought I know better.
Yeah.
You know, because I was so arrogant and just hard headed. Like, you know, I got power, money, and everything was for me was power. You know, I had forgot that family. That was my number one thing. I always told them, I said, family is number one. But yeah, you know, and so I met with some old friends, got deep into doing the drugs and everything, and just did more and more to where my family left me, and here I am still working. I worked for Johnson & Johnson at Ethicon, and I was still doing drugs. My boss even put me on an administrative leave with pay just for me to get myself, you know, together. But you know, I was just taking that as advantage of being off, you know, and so I didn't listen to nobody, you know, and it took to where I had sold some drugs to the police, and yeah, they had a warrant for my arrest, and they actually came to my job, arrested me at my job, and I got locked up. And then a month and a half later, they released me. 6 days later, I got locked up back up again for another possession charge with the DUI. So I sat in jail for 6 months, and during that 6 months, I hear people talking about rehab.
Okay.
I didn't think nothing about it because, you know, I figured, yeah, I'm just going to go to prison for whatever, 2 years or something, 3 years. They told me, why don't you get rehab, you know? I said, why don't you go to rehab? Maybe we can help you. And I just like, I'm not into that, you know, because, you know, being that my culture, we have so much pride that we don't believe in rehab. It's not what I expected when and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot now. I'm gonna go to rehab. Maybe they can help me with my problems and everything like that. So first place I called was Potter's House. That's the only place I called. I didn't call nowhere or anywhere. I said, all right, let me go to rehab.
Did you just like look them up online or like
someone had told me when I was locked up with, and he said that person came to the Potter's House before. I knew it was a faith-based program, and but I was willing to set my pride to the side and then get help. I lost everything already. I sold my house. I lost my family.
You had nothing left.
I had nothing left, and it's crazy that I did it to myself. That and my brothers and sisters, they all living good, but they also put me in a spot to where, like, look, man, you did it. You take care of your problems. So that was a wake up call for me. It took me 4 years until I lost everything.
Yeah. So then you get to the Potter's House. What's it like?
Potter's House. Potter's House, huh? When I first got there, I was like, wow, it seems like a pretty nice facility. Like, I actually didn't think or didn't know what to expect. But being there at the Potter's House now, then to now, it's a faith-based program, and I had not known anything about God or Jesus, what they teach there.
You had never, that was not something that, because you grew up Buddhist, you said. So was it like, when you heard it was a faith-based program, what'd you think about that?
I just said, well, I'm just going to go along with it.
Yeah, I just go along with it.
I'm just going to go along with it. This is what they gave me for a year. So I'm just going to go along with it and see what they has to offer me. How can they help me? Or how, because I didn't believe in what, like Jesus and stuff like that. I believe in a God, but obviously, things happens. And so I got to the Potter's House, and first time I ever opened up a Bible, I flipped to a page where Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And, it states that trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will show you the right path, So seek His will in all you do. So, and that really caught me, and I was like, well, what God is this, And so everybody was so nice there, and they have good counseling and everything. Of course, I never been counseled before or nothing. I never got help.
So this is your first time ever getting
Ever, yes. This is the first time I even talked to a counselor. First time I even talked to somebody about my problems or anything.
Wow.
Yes, I never.
How did it feel like to talk to someone about it for the first time?
It was kind of nervous because why, I don't. That's where my pride and arrogance, came along. It's like, why would you want to listen to my problem? How can you help me with my problem? You have a different addiction. I have a gambling addiction, and of course, meth addiction. And how can you help me? But what I needed was time to collect myself together and hey, give it a shot. And let's just what I got to lose, right?
Yeah.
So I just start spilling out too. Okay, you want to hear my story? Let me tell you what it is. Let me tell you what it is, and let's see what But it's good to have someone listen. And what they teach there at the Potter's House. Let's just say I learned humility. I learned how to be humble. I learned a lot about myself while I'm there. Because they teach you, they got stress class, how to be a man, becoming a man, all the tools necessary, and it teaches you how to find yourself, find your spiritual self, and see where you're at. It makes you reflect on what you're doing, right and wrong, and to me, the biggest thing was that, I took the time to keep myself humble and patient and see what their program is about, and they listen. That's the thing. They listen where nobody else would listen to you.
Well, because it sounds like you just always had to do it on your own. And if you weren't going to take care of it, no one was going to take care of it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a life full of that, almost a fight. You were always in fight or flight of like, I have two options, either fight
Hustle.
or flight. It sounds like it was a little bit freeing to like have someone actually listen to you for the first time.
And I talk to my counselors and say all the time, like, it's like, why do I have this type of dream, or why do I have these thoughts, of doing this? Like, is it just because like I'm so used to it? Is it, or how can you help me? So it takes a while. I'm not saying I only been in recovery for 6 months.
I mean, congratulations. Though.
Yeah, it's a big
How does
step.
it feel? How does it feel to say that?
It feels good. But I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it's a lifelong thing.
It is. And and for me to sit here in front of you guys and tell you this, that this is a big step for me.
It's a huge step.
Because like I would never ever want to talk about my problems to anybody. And that's like I say, that's being that my culture and my pride. It's just. But I just gotta learn that when I need help, I need to talk to someone. I need to tell someone, seek help.
It doesn't escape me that that was a big step for you. And now you're here on a podcast
I know.
talking about your story.
Hopefully you can help somebody else.
That's what I want to do, because if my words and can help somebody, at least one person or many person, I'm up for it. Because what I experienced at the Potter House is it's not what I expected it.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit, because so it sounds like you've been on a journey of faith.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Every day is Jesus over there. Every day is Jesus. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And like I said, the Bible has so many interesting things.
Yeah.
Even in past, before that, and afterwards. But I'd seek the words out there that pertains to what I want, what I need in my life, And I know that seeking God, He will show me the right way, and just to be patient and, do right.
So that's been a new journey for you.
Yes, it is. It is.
Learning about God and learning about what that relationship looks like.
It's a spiritual for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very spiritual. I just needed that time.
Well, you haven't had time since you were a very young child.
It's always that fast life of doing, making money.
It sounds like you've been in a lot of different communities in your life. So you talked about your block that you guys were on. You've been in, obviously, like gang communities.
Correct.
What's different about this community?
Everyone tries to support one another. In that community, in the Potter's House, of course, we're there. And everyone try to support one another and trying to get through that, trying to get through the program. And because we're all dealing with problems, I deal with problems myself, but we try to help each other to where we can grow, and it's like two better than one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's one thing that over there is everybody being supportive of one another, and and with their program of what they teach and what they give you, the tools and everything there. I mean, they're trying to get you back to life, trying to get you
right.
They supplies you with. They give you classes like GED class, a number one dad class, and forklift class. They try to get you all the necessary.
They're trying to get you out into the world.
I would advise like most everybody there, man, take all them classes, man, because it's useful. It's necessary for you to go on and live a life,
Yeah. It sounds like you guys really have built a really strong brotherhood.
Yes. And,
They were talking very highly of you.
maybe because I was the only Asian there, but I'm just
Could be that.
but no, they I appreciate their support and everything, and like I said, they really lift me up and get me out of my comfort zone, because I was really uncomfortable at the beginning too.
I'm sure, yeah.
To where like what am I got myself into?
Right.
I got out of jail. The next, like y'all can put me in rehab. Now I'm over here trying to.
We're just a bunch of guys just all
talking
about our feelings.
It's
have to do my houses.
Yeah. And of course, I'm really big on that 12 steps. And before I came up here, I was thinking in my head like, I think this is step 12.
Yeah.
Where after having a spiritual awakening, we try to carry this message out to alcoholics and addicts and practice all these principles. And so I'm like, this is what it is.
It's you're giving it away now.
Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to encourage, a lot of people to getting help is not a bad thing.
No.
They
talk a lot about in 12-step that your recovery is not just for you, it's for giving it away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want to do. Like, if I can help out one person or many person, just by what I experienced. Yes, and it's a really good program.
Are you in contact with your kids?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But my family and
it's a goal for the future.
Yes, it's a goal for the future. I had set a goal myself that, okay, while I'm in here, I'm going to work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be worrying about what is going on out there.
This is the best thing you can do for them.
Exactly. So they're not worried about, they want to see me get out through this.
Yeah, they
want
you. They want to see you for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I was pretty messed up person. And I had talked, it's funny, I had talked with Doug for the first time with one of my counselors.
Yeah.
And he was like, you don't seem like a guy that recklessly.
Yeah.
Or, or this person that would make a wrong choice, like that. And I told him, I said, you're right, because I'm not that person. I was a family man. I'm a family man. And I took care of my responsibilities and everything. And I needed the time. I said, I need this time, to get help and see what you guys can do for me. And
you get to get back to who you really are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then
that wasn't who you are.
That wasn't who I am.
It was a fight or flight moment of I have to do this to survive. But now you get to go back to who Denh really is.
Yes. That's that's when
you seem pretty cool. So
of course I'm cool. Of course I'm cool.
So the future looks bright for you.
Yeah.
So are you going to stay on at the Potter's house?
I'm going to stay as long as I have to stay there.
Okay.
But I'm going to continue to use the 12 steps.
Love it. Yeah, because everyday thing.
It applies to me every day. The steps in there is just. Yeah, it applies to everyday life.
Yeah, it does.
Everyday life. It was amazing that, and of course, I believe in God, and He put me in this position to better myself, and to get me back, on my feet, and of course, I'm working now, and I want to be able to get back to my family, and and.
You will for sure.
Yeah, and it starts today. And it'll continue to build every day.
Yep.
Thank.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to Denh's story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thanks for your courage to share your story. And we know that this is going to help somebody else. So thank you so much for listening and keep tuning in.
This Giving Tuesday, you have the chance to double your impact. Thanks to a generous $75,000 match, every dollar you give goes twice as far. So as we enter the holiday season, a time of gratitude and giving, your support helps bring hope and resources to those who need it the most. So please don't miss this opportunity for incredible generosity. Give today and help us reach our goal together. Unseen Atlanta is proud to be sponsored this season by the Scott Pryor Law Group. At Scott Pryor Law, they treat every client like family. If you've been injured, their mission is simple. You focus on healing, and they'll handle the rest. Scott Pryor, a U.S. Marine and trial attorney, and his team believe in compassion, justice, and serving their community. So if you or a loved one has been injured, reach out to the Scott Pryor Law Group today. They'll walk with you every step of the way. You can learn more at scottpryorlaw.com.
Thanks for listening to Unseen Atlanta. If today's story moved you, we invite you to take the next step, whether that's volunteering your time, donating to Atlanta Mission, or simply continuing to listen and learn. Every step matters.
Follow along, share this episode, and join us as we invest in Atlanta together.